Spring is on its way, and that means DePauw housing selections are too. In part one of a two-part series on housing, The Source's Andy Reid tells us what's different this year and which rumors to throw out.
If you're a non-Greek affiliated student, chances are you've become accustomed to DePauw's housing selection system. You also probably noticed that things aren't the same as they were last year. The biggest change this year was the process for selecting group housing. In the past, a group of students wishing to live together had to apply for theme housing. Housing Director Julia Arnold says this is no longer required.
Students were telling us that they didn't see it as fair, that these groups were getting their housing before but not following through on the programs that they said they were going to do. So what we did was we created a group living application, and basically it eliminated the program requirements.
It may be a little tougher to get group housing, though. The priorities for which group housing is assigned have changed.
One of the things we did was incorporate GPA as a requirement, that groups had to have a set minimum GPA, and what we set it at, I believe we set it at 2.8. One of the other priorities was to groups with 50% or more independent students, and then finally to recognize student organization.
Assignments of group living were issued recently, and in the end, not all the students thought the new system was fair.
The essays that you had to write were excruciating, and the options that you could live in, the houses that were available through the group process, were not the most attractive options. So in the end, my group decided not even to apply for it.
Despite rumors, the group housing process has been the only major change. The general housing lottery will remain the same, and no new buildings will be built, nor will any be torn down. However, Anderson Street Hall will not be an active dormitory next year. Spiritual Life and Residence Life will be the only tenants. For D3 TV's The Source, I'm Andy Reid.
Andy, so what can students do if they don't get group housing?
Well, actually, Christian, every type of university housing is still available. That includes the rector, the duplexes, university-owned housing and apartments, and the traditional dormitories. In order to get in the lottery, though, you must pre-register on e-services. Registration for Lucy, Mason, and Senior Hall ends on March 21st. Rector Village ends on April 2nd, and registration for the university-owned houses ends on April 3rd at 4 o'clock. Now, for more information on how the whole system works, you can look at the website, www.depauw.edu/student/housing. And next week, I'll have the second part of this series, The Housing Boom.
Great. Thank you very much, Andy. We look forward to your report next week.